presentando el nuevo Ilu Octa. Estilizado. Doble salida Real Sound para que escuches tu música favorita y disfrutes viendo con máxima calidad tus videos favoritos. Doble SIM card. Sensor de huella digital para mayor seguridad. Ultra Metal System. Diseño único octa-core con pantalla de 5.5 Full HD. Cubierta en cristal. Cámara de 13 megapíxeles. Colores a escoger. Liberado para cualquier compañía del mundo. El nuevo Ilu Octa, diseñado por manos como las tuyas.
Hey everybody, I'm Natasha Kirchuk, and thanks for joining us for ILTV's weekly program, One-on-One with Alan Dershowitz. We want to give you, our viewers, a chance to have your questions answered by Professor Dershowitz, one of America's greatest legal minds. He's a leading expert on criminal and constitutional law, civil liberties, and the Arab-Israeli conflict. Hi, Professor Dershowitz. It's so great to see you again.
Hi. Congratulations on your new studio. It looks beautiful.
I know. I'm so excited that we're here and you get to join us today. All right, so let's get started, Professor. As you know, we always open our show with special guests. Today, our first guest is David Efron, born in Cuba. David is a prominent lawyer and businessman who serves as Israel's honorary consul for Puerto Rico. David is also an old friend of yours. On a recent visit to Israel, he took your advice and made a day trip that answered a lot of issues, but also raised some questions. Let's hear from him.
Alan, for a long time you've been suggesting that I go see Ramallah for myself, and I finally did. And what I found was that there was absolutely no military occupation. I did not see one Israeli soldier from the time I left the checkpoint in Israel until the end of my stay in Ramallah. And I found a lot of modern hospitals, high-tech buildings, modern office buildings, fancy cars, a lot of successful, hardworking people, and people who want to have a solution to the situation with a two-state solution with Israel. So this is what I taped while I was there for. Hi, Alan. I'm here in Ramallah, of all places, and from the people I've spoken to, much like most Israelis, everybody's looking forward and wish a two-state solution. What can we do to make this happen, and for how much longer can Israel continue to be a Jewish and, more importantly, a democratic state without a two-state solution? Hope to see you soon.
David, it's so nice to hear from you and to see you in Ramallah. David Efron is a great lawyer and a great friend of Israel. He serves in an honorary capacity as the consul in Puerto Rico. He's originally a Cuban Jew, a very prominent person in Miami. So I really appreciate your question. David, as you know, I have urged people, students and others, that their first stop when they go to the Middle East for the first time, the first stop should always be Ramallah, because it immediately tells the viewer that what he's been hearing about the occupation is only a partial truth and really not a truth at all. That there are parts of the West Bank, Ramallah, Jericho, many others, that are simply not under occupation. You simply never see an Israeli policeman, a soldier. There's self-determination, there's self-rule. And that's what a Palestinian state could look like. You know, when Israel was built, it was built from the ground down. When Winston Churchill came to what was then called Palestine, he said, what is all this talk about a Jewish homeland in the future? There is a Jewish homeland. They have a legislature, they have newspapers, they have universities, they have hospitals. That's the way you build a state, from the bottom up. And I think the Palestinians are building a state in Ramallah and other areas of the West Bank. There is only one solution to the conflict, and that is the two-state solution. It's the only solution that will work. None of the others that have been proposed carry the promise of Israel remaining the nation state of the Jewish people and the democratic nation state of the Jewish people. So we have to move vigorously in that direction. Prime Minister Netanyahu, to his credit, has said that he's ready to negotiate toward a two-state solution with no preconditions, without even the Palestinians announcing in advance that they accept Israel as the nation state of the Jewish people. So the ball is now clearly in the Palestinian court. They have to come to the negotiating table. You cannot get a state without negotiation. You're not going to get a state through BDS. You're not going to get a state through the United Nations, through the International Criminal Court. So if the Palestinians want the rest of the West Bank to look like Ramallah with land swaps, obviously, and other accommodations, they have to come to the negotiating table. Both sides have to make the kinds of painful compromises that all real negotiations entail.
All right.